It was the year 1999. 19-year-old me was out getting pissed on the 31st of December 1999. And we just thought, why not get drunk, really drunk, because the world is coming to an end. Y2K virus. Anyone who's born probably the latter part of the 90s might not really be aware much of it. Anyone born after the year 2000 probably isn't aware much of it. But for all of us who are old, like me, then yes, the Y2K virus. I mean, yeah, everyone thought it was going to be the end of the world. Planes falling from the sky. Absolutely not. Internet historian, let's see what he's got to say about it. Genius.
Let me tell you how the world ended. December 31st, 1999. Y2K.
Just how bad will it get?
Everything that could go wrong did. Y2K, the movie.
To my knowledge, I'm the last survivor. Planes fell from the sky. Expensive Pentium 2s ceased to function. Nuclear launches all around the globe.
Yeah, it was a terrible time. It was the worst of times. It was the worst of times.
Let me tell you about the downfall of mankind. Scene transition. It all started in the 80s. The synth was wavy. The computers were absolute units. But the memory was embarrassingly small. So at the time, computer programmers were trying to save every byte they could. When they programmed in years,
I didn't get my first computer until I was like, what, in my 20s? On dial-up? God, yeah, downloading guitar tabs on dial-up speed. Jesus. Paying a was it, a pound an hour? Like a penny a minute. It's something stupid like that. Yeah. Oh, fun times.
Date 1995, for example, became just 2 digits. 95. Good solution at the time. But as the years went by, people went, hold on a minute, what will happen at the year 00?
The world would end and it all goes to shit. That's what everyone thought would happen with 00.
And the answer was, across millions of potential systems, no one really knew they had a problem, and they called it Y2K. But let's take a step back. What does Y2K mean?
Well, Y is short for year, 2 of course means 2, and K is the scientific
Did they actually have to explain what Y2K meant?
symbol for thousand.
Mono means one, and rail means rail.
So the year 00 was coming up. For computers, that could mean 2000, or it could mean...
Oh god, no, that's what I call music. Volume 45. Yeah. What are we on now? No, that's what I call music 2,047,000.
1900, or it could be a nil value. Now apply that same principle to something more important like banking transactions, international scheduled airline departure, or the internal clocks of GPS satellites. And now you see the problem. Systems would start to fail.
The systems will fail, and if one part of it fails, none of it works.
So traffic lights, power systems, water systems, military networks, microwaves, advanced AI, the entire internet. It could all potentially domino into.
I mean, that would be a tragedy right there. That would be a tragedy beyond epic proportions. Not that I use a service or anything like that. You can't in the UK now. I think for any service like that, you've got to give a credit card, register to prove your age. And I can imagine that a lot of people would have decided, I don't want to do that, if I'm honest, for that specific service.
Chaos.
It is a particularly large global disaster in the making.
Scene transition. So companies got together to spend their way out of the problem. The United States alone invested an estimated $134 billion.
Christ on a bike. 134 billion with an additional 13 billion spent fixing minor problems in 2000-2001.
To fix the bug. But they had an immovable deadline, and only so much could be done leading up to January 1st, and hitherto, only a fraction of the problem was fixed. Legislators could see the writing on the wall, so the Y2K Act was passed, which protected companies against lawsuits resulting from the bug. But as the media reported on the problem in louder and more hysterical terms,
they're preparing for martial law.
I think Y2K financially could be devastating for this nation.
People who knew nothing about the actual reality of Y2K was going out on the news going, this is going to be a shit show and it's going to be the end of times. And it's like, fear-mongering are the worst. And then 20 years later, they did the same with COVID.
But they'll tell you everything's fine. They're lying to you. Everything ain't fine.
The Y2K problem could abolish all paper currency and coins throughout the world.
Not a bad thing.
A secondary problem arose. Panic. Ooh. Here's an example. You spend millions of dollars getting your city's water system up to Y2K compliance. Everything's looking good. But the media is feeding people hype. So a nervous population does what it often does. Ouch. No. Fill the bathtub full of water. Just in case. For obvious.
Yep. Fill all your bottles, fill all your cups, fill all your glasses, fill any random bottles, fill your sink, fill your bath, because the taps are not going to work tomorrow because of a Y2K bug. And your toilets won't flush, so don't use them either.
Reasons. Well, also what tends to happen is everybody has that idea at once, at the last minute. You can imagine what that does to a big city. It kills supply. Then people think there's no water, Y2K is on for sure, and panic explodes in the streets. Boy, there was potential here for real disaster. So it was up to citizens like us to take matters into our own hands. Welcome to the Y2K Expo. Everything you need to survive the apocalypse. We bought survival bunkers.
Has anyone actually bought a survival bunker in the last 80 years and thought it was a good investment? Whether it's, the Cold War, which never really happened. I mean, in terms of nuclear war. COVID, just a cold. Y2K came and went. You know what I mean?
They think I'm mad. Mostly. But
who'd want to survive a nuclear war in a fallout shelter? You know what? If you ever think, do I want to survive a nuclear war? Watch a film called The Road with Viggo Mortensen. God. At the end of that film, it was like, rather not. Bit of Ground Zero, thank you. Or a little animated show called When the Wind Blows. British film. And Threads, which was also British. Those three things will just make you think, I don't want to be anywhere surviving a nuclear war. Absolutely not.
then they want a place in the bunker.
We bought seeds. We bought a library of literature. We bought into pretty much everything.
Call now and get the ultimate Y2K survival kit from
People made money out of it, fair play.
But Y2K just kept creeping closer. And soon, it was time to say goodbye to loved ones.
But it's a two-person.
It was time to say goodbye to the world as we knew it. From my bunker, I could hear the bombs go off. The destruction. Just unimaginable. Let me just set the mood real quick. Nope. Nope. Close. Yeah. It's all gone now. The small things that went unappreciated. The great moments of our time. There is no going back. The date today is somewhere around 2000.
That's Seth MacFarlane. Man alive.
18. It's finally time to...
Tell me that was Seth MacFarlane. Was that Seth MacFarlane?
Step back into the world. With whatever horrors that may bring. I don't know what I'll find out there. Mutants, cannibals, different factions.
Is this 2025 he's talking about now? These are all Reddit moderators, aren't they? Reddit moderator, Reddit moderator, Reddit moderator. Definitely Reddit moderators.
Bandit. I just hope I'm ready to take it all on. Get it? He steps out, and then it's the cabin from season 5. It's all connected. It's such a deep and encompassing lore. Remember when I used to make good content? Me neither. Scene transition. Okay, I was only partially right about the whole doomsday thing. The world didn't end. But in Australia, some of the vending machines stopped working, and the International Weather website displayed the wrong year. Also this. So,
oh my god.
In hindsight, that's pretty funny. Actually, to be honest, at the time I thought it was pretty funny. I worked in the airline industry for years as an avionics engineer. I knew that no planes were going to fall out of the sky.
I mean, the rest of the world was no slouch either. Estimates for global Y2K readiness spending range from about 300 billion to 500 billion. Jesus Christ.
$500 billion well spent.
Internet historian, always on point. Absolute genius content. But yeah, I remember back in the day where everyone was like, what, Y2K, you know, Y2K, it's going to get us. It's going to get us. It's like, no, it's not. But there's always something got to fear mong. But it's funny because Y2K didn't get us, but then a year later, in 2001, the world did change somewhat with 9/11. And then 20 years later, the world changed again with COVID. Wonder what will happen again in another 10 years. 20 years, 15 years. Next year, knowing this world. Anyway, see you on the next one. That was genius. I'm sure he's got more content I will be watching. Cheers.